Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 10 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 10 and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter logic. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. So here I am on grade 10 math. Let's just start with the chapter logic. So let's just start with the first lesson, that is identify hypotheses and conclusions. What is the hypothesis in the conditional statement? If Jenny is serving an apple pie, then she is serving a dessert. So the if part is the hypothesis, right? You have if A, then B. A is the condition. If A is true, then B is true, right? So that means the hypothesis is part A, which states that Jenny is serving an apple pie, right? The next example is, what is the conclusion of the conditional statement? If a quadrilateral has no right angles, then it is not a rectangle. So you have if A, then B. The B part is the conclusion. That means that states that the quadrilateral is not a triangle, because the quadrilateral has no right angle, so quadrilateral is not a triangle, rectangle. Sorry. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, what is the hypothesis in the conditional statement? If 7y take away 5 equals 9, then y equals 2. The if that condition is the hypothesis, right? Like this is the one that after if part is the hypothesis. If 7y minus 5 equals 9, that is the hypothesis, right? The one you have to test, that is the hypothesis. The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. 7y minus 5 equals 9 is the hypothesis. is the hypothesis in the conditional statement? If Jenny is having an apple pie, then she is serving a dessert. So, which is the hypothesis? The condition after the if is the hypothesis, right? So, the correct option is Jenny is serving an apple pie is the hypothesis. What is hypothesis in the conditional statement? Sorry, what is the conclusion in the conditional statement? If a quadrilateral has no right angles, then it is not a rectangle. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is the quadrilateral is not a rectangle is the correct option. The P then the part that is after the then is the conclusion, right? So that means the quadrilateral is not a rectangle is the conclusion. What is the condition conclusion in the conditional statement? If her child is an infant, then it sleeps in a crib. So which is the correct option? Which one is the conclusion? The correct option is her child sleeps in a crib is the conditional statement, right? The correct option is her child sleeps in a crib is the conclusion. What is the hypothesis in this conditional statement? If an animal lives on land, then it is not a fish. So, which is the correct option? Which one is the hypothesis? The condition is the hypothesis, right? That is, an animal live on the land. The one right next to if part is the hypothesis. What is hypothesis in the conditional statement? If a shape has three sides, then it is a triangle. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is the shape has three sides is the hypothesis. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. The next one is counter examples. Which of the following is a counter example for the conditional statement? The conditional statement is If a child is a girl, then the child's favorite color is pink. You have to see which is the counter example, right? Christine, a girl whose favorite color is pink. Vivian, a girl whose favorite color is purple. Oliver, a boy whose favorite color is pink. Patrick, a boy whose favorite color is blue. So, a child is a girl, that is a condition, right? If a child is a girl, that means the favorite color is pink, right? You are given four of the statements. You have to see which one is the counter example, right? The first one is Christine, a girl whose favorite color is pink. The hypothesis is true because she's a girl, so that the condition conclusion is true. So she likes the pink color, right? This is not a counter example. The second one, Vivian, a girl whose favorite color is pink. Condition is true. She is a girl, but she liked the purple color. That means the hypothesis is true for the second one. The hypothesis is true. She's a girl, but the color she likes is purple. The hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. So that means that is the counter example, right? The next one is Oliver, a boy. The next whose favorite color is pink. Condition is false. He's a boy, right? And the conclusion is false. Patrick, a boy. Condition is false. Conclusion is false. Only this is the one in which you have the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. That is the counter example, right? Counter example is the one in which the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. That is the counter example. Let's just start with the test question. Which of the following is a counter example for the conditional statement? If a sport involves hitting a ball, then it requires a racket. Which of the following is counter example for the conditional statement? You have to see the counter example, right? If a sport involves hitting a ball, then it requires a racket. Okay, let's see tennis. In tennis, you hit a ball and require a that means you require a racket. So for the tennis, the hypothesis is true and the condition is true, right? L- let's just look for the golf. For the golf, if golf is a sport that involves hitting a ball, hypothesis is true, but and then it requires a racket. That is also true, right? Then you have skiing. If a skiing involves hitting a ball, then it requires a racket. But I think in skiing you also need a racket. Not much information about the sports. Okay, so tennis. For the tennis, that's the one I did. Hypothesis is true, the conclusion is true, right? For the golf, the hypothesis is true. A sports involve hitting a ball, but it does not require a racket. That means that is the counter example. The counter example is the golf because you hit the ball but you don't need a racket. Option number two is the correct option. Which of the following example is counter example for the conditional statement? If a pet is small, then it is a kitten, a pony, a kitten, a hamster, and a golden retriever. Okay, let's start with the pony. Pony is small. That means it is a kitten. So hypothesis is true. Pony. The hypothesis is false. Pony is not a small pet. That means this isn't the counter example. Then for kitten, the hypothesis is true. Kitten is a small pet and it is a kitten. That is also true. Look for the hamster. The hypothesis is true. The hamster is small pet, but the condition is false. This it is not a kitten. So the correct option is hamster. Hamster is the correct option. Which of the following is a counter example for this conditional statement? A number is odd, then it is spelled with the letter N. Let's start with the first number, that is 45. 45 is an odd number, right? Then it is spelled with the letter N. No, it is odd. Hypothesis is true. 45 is odd, but it is spelled with the letter N. No. So the correct option is 45. 45 is the counter example because the other number that is odd is 1, but 1 is spelled with the letter N, right? So the correct option is 45. Basically, the counter example is the one for which the hypothesis is true, but the conclusion is false. So the correct option is 45. Which of the following is a counter example for the conditional statement? If a vehicle has four wheels, then it is a car. Let's start with the motorcycle. For the motorcycle is a vehicle that don't have four cars. So for the motorcycle, the hypothesis is false and then the conclusion is false. The truck, that is a vehicle with four wheels, but this is not a car. The conclusion is false. So the correct option is truck. Truck. The counter example is the one for which hypothesis is true, but the conclusion is false. The correct option is truck. Which of the following is a counter example for the conditional statement? If a people lives in a water, then it has scales. A dolphin, giraffe and elephant and fox. They are the one that doesn't live in the water. Dolphin is the one that lives in the water and it has no scales. So the correct option is a dolphin. The correct option is dolphin. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next example. And the next example is conditionals. Is the following conditional true? If m is less than 9, then m is less than 8. The conditional is false. Like we have a counter example. If the number is 8.5, 8.5 is less than 9, but 8.5 is not less than 8. So that means the hypothesis is true, but the conclusion is false. So that means the conditional is false, right? Because you have the counter example. One of the condition, the hypothesis is true, but the conclusion is false. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Okay, if the following conditional true, if f is greater than equal to 5, then f is greater than 1. For example, you have a number 6. 6 is greater than 5, right? Then 6 is greater than 1. The correct option is yes. That is the conditional. This conditional is true because the hypothesis is true, so the conclusion is also true. That is yes. Okay. Is the following conditional true? If r is less than 8, then r is less than 6. Let's just suppose r is 7, right? 7 is less than 8. True. Then part. 7 is less than equal to 6. No. So only the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. That means the conditional is false. So conditional is only true if you can check for the counter example, and for the counter example the hypothesis is true and the condition and the conclusion is also true, right? If for a counter example the condition is true and the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is true, the conditional is true, then the correct option is no, this conditional is not true. Is the following conditional true? If a polygon has more than 3 sides, then it is a quadrilateral. Yes, it is, right? For example, you have a five-sided polygon. That means polygon has more than 3 sides. Hypothesis is true. And yes, it is a quadrilateral. No, quadrilateral is the four-sided shape, right? Not five-sided. So if the polygon is the has the 5 sides, right? Polygon has more than 3 sides. That is true. But this is not the quadrilateral. This would be then polygon. Quadrilateral means the one with the 4 sides. The correct option is no. If a number is Now, okay, so if y is greater than 5, so the not means y is less than or equal to 5, right? The correct option is y is less than equal to 5. What is the negation of the following inequality? W is greater than equal to 4. So negation means if W is not greater than or equal to 4, that means then W is, then W is less than 4, right? If it is not greater or equal, then that means that is less than 4. What is the negation of negative D greater than equal to negative 8? That means negative D is less than negative 8. What is the negation of the following inequality? M is less than 6. The negation of M is less than 6 is if M is not less, then either it is greater or either equal. The correct option is M is greater than equal to 6. What is the negation of M n is less than 9. Option 1 is the correct option, n is greater than equal to 9. What is the negation of the following inequality? Negative f is less than equal to negative 7. That means negative f is greater than negative 7. What is the negation of the following inequality? Negative s is greater than equal to negative 3. The correct option is negative s is then less than negative 3, right? Okay, we are done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 10 math. The chapter we were working on is logic. The lessons we have covered today are identify hypotheses and conclusions, counter examples, conditionals, and negotiation and negations, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10. So that's all for today. If you have any question, you can please ask.